All right. Hi, everybody. Um, Cassie Jordan here. I'm sorry I'm not on video. I'm in the beautiful Microsoft Innovation Lab, so y'all don't want to see that. But if you do, you can just contact me and we'll do it. Anyway, I am happy to have OnActuate here to talk about the retirement of project tools, the project online retirement, and ways that you can move forward. Ideas about, how you use the tool, what makes sense for your next steps, and they can also help you out with that migration as well. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Gregory.
Yes, thank you, Cassie. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your time and attendance. We are excited to talk about project tools, project operations, and that whole subject area today. I will go to the next slide. Just introducing ourselves, besides Cassie, who was so gracious to take a minute out of her busy day in the Microsoft hothouse there. My name is Greg. I'm with OnActuate. We're a professional services firm and Microsoft partner that works in the public sector. I have my friend Terry from Microsoft, who also helps public sector organizations make better use of Microsoft technology to solve their business challenges. So it's always a pleasure to have Terry on today. She can help answer questions and add more color as needed. And also my esteemed guest and colleague, Chris, who is one of my teammates at OnActuate. He leads up our non-ERP Microsoft practice, so that does include CRM, Power Apps, and the project operations portfolio that we'll talk about today. And he also has the unique privilege of coming from government, so it's always nice having folks who worked in government and then come to help government organizations do better with technology as well. So that's who's on the lineup today. What we want to talk about is Project Online, what that is, what's in the works for that from a retirement perspective from Microsoft. So we'll talk a little bit about how that's driving organizations to make application changes and modernizations and changes of strategy. So that's definitely of note to discuss. We'll talk about two of the more modern applications out there, Microsoft Planner. So we'll talk about that. And then also D365 Project Operations. That's a suite of functionality that offers a more comprehensive look at project management, both from a resource and financial perspective. So we'll talk about how that can help organizations take a bigger picture approach to this topic. Talk about roadmap items, what's next, how we can help answer your questions and send you off to the rest of the afternoon. So that's what we plan on covering within the next hour or less. Quick poll, we got to keep it interactive. I know if you're further out east, you might be in that post-lunch slump, so we want to keep you awake and engaged. Just some questions, put it in the chat if you want. We'll have a chance to chat more directly once we cover our pre scheduled content, but we wanted to ask the audience what sort of tools are in use today from a project and portfolio management perspective, and what are some challenges that you are seeing and that you're experiencing. And hopefully what we have to show and talk about is something that can address those things. So when you have a second, give us some thoughts, but I'll keep rolling along as we talk about some context or some use cases. One thing to talk about, to think about, is we see organizations having complex operations. That could be a variety of things. That could be managing different types of work groups, managing different types of work, managing different types of funding sources, reimbursements, state grants, federal grants, internal projects, all kinds of complexity behind your business. And generally your business is serving the public, but it's also delivering those products and services that the public needs. And that's where having that set of complex workforce and work activities comes in. And we consistently see that being challenging, that having a not great fit in the world of ERP, people trying to do different things with financial systems with varying levels of success, and really figuring out a way to manage your workforce efficiently with tight budgets, people retiring, being able to really squeeze the most efficiency out of your teams today. That's super important. And really having a way of doing that from a more programmatic and automated perspective. One other thing that's really important is, as I mentioned at the start of the slide, that whole tie into financials. So being able to connect people's activities with the funding sources, with the reimbursements, with all those capital and spending controls that you need. That's a super important thing. We see tools out there that do maybe half of that, pieces of that, maybe manage financials quite well, maybe manage activities quite well, but doing both in a holistic experience, that's been an overall challenge that our customers are still struggling with. With that, Microsoft's vision is to use the technology available in the Microsoft ecosystem of business applications that we'll talk a little bit about today to modernize that project delivery experience. And what that really means is moving from just tools. I mean, if you think about even project management tools, it kind of goes all the way back in the old days of that butcher paper of managing all your people on a big sheet. And now that's just moved on to kind of a tool, a chart-driven tool, and really taking that a step forward and helping organizations manage the actual delivery of projects, and doing some forecasting, doing some analytics, and having that more smarter intelligence behind your activities that are super important to the delivery of your services to your constituents. What that should hopefully do is help with governance, cost management, managing your people, and having better outcomes. That's really what the game is today. And with that, besides painting the bigger picture, there's a little bit of a tactical discussion here, and what that is today is the retirement of Project Online. That is something that's been near and dear to many public sector organizations for quite some time, and Microsoft is putting that in kind of the end of the line situation, which will be sooner rather than later. In this case, at the end of September, and really what Microsoft is interested in promoting is having a more holistic approach of project management tools that encompass Planner, which we'll talk about, Copilot, the wonderful AI capabilities that are interspersed throughout all of Microsoft technology, and then the project manager agent for work management. Those are the big areas of focus. Should be no surprise there. And really what the goal with that is to roll those pieces into the project for web capability. So that's that Microsoft Planner for planner and scheduling, and then also having that tie into the bigger picture, which is the project operations suite of functionality, which we'll get into in just a second. So that's where Microsoft is heading, taking a tried and true but dated technology and trying to find a way to bring new innovations to organizations to use that tool to a more efficient outcome. Project Online, what is that? That's the delivery of the PPM Foundation, timesheets approvals, governance, and then there's some transitions there. I wanted to turn it over to my colleague, Chris. He'll talk a little bit more in depth about these, and then we'll go into more of the bigger functionality pieces out there. So Chris, do you want to take it away from me?
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
You bet.
So before we talk about replacements, let's be honest about why Project Online was adopted. So Project Online delivered your classic enterprise portfolio project management. So it covered project intake and approval workflows, portfolio prioritization and roadmaps, capacity and resource planning. But it also then gave you a PMO layer. So Gantt charts, dependencies, critical paths, baselines, variance tracking, master and cross-project planning. It provided governance and risk compliance, stage gates and approvals, consistent delivery standards across departments. It also gave you a fair amount of reporting and transparency. So PMO and executive dashboards, Power BI integration, and a portfolio level visibility for leadership. But one of the key differentiators for many agencies was timesheets and approvals. Project Online supported structured time entry and approval workflows at an enterprise scale. So centralized time entry, formal timesheet approvals, and it was an alignment between task progress and reported effort. So in addition to all that, it also provided some extensibility. So it gave you the ability for custom fields and workflows, SharePoint and Microsoft 365 integration. But a limitation is it has limited Power Platform extensibility capabilities. So what are your transition options? Now that Project Online is coming to a retirement date, your options are Microsoft Planner. So Planner Premium adds modern scheduling constructs like Gantt charts, dependencies, critical paths. There's Microsoft Project Server Subscription Edition. So this represents a continuation of the classic Project Server or Project Online capability set, but is on-premise. And finally, there's Dynamics 365 Project Operations. So this is positioned for organizations that need deeper operational control, timesheet management, resource scheduling, end-to-end delivery, and financial visibility. Before we get into what Planner and Project Operations offer, we did mention Project Server Subscription Edition, and I do want to touch on that at a high level. We are focusing on the Microsoft Cloud Native replacement options, but it's important to at least touch on this because it is a viable option in some regards. So Project Server Subscription Edition is Microsoft's on-premise enterprise project portfolio management platform. It's built on SharePoint Server, and it represents a continuation of the classic Project Server and Project Online capability set. But a key point is it's operated, managed, and administered by you, by the client, rather than by Microsoft. So some core capabilities of Project Server, it provides enterprise project scheduling and publishing, resource management, capacity planning, timesheets and approvals, portfolio views, roadmaps, demand management, project web app, integration with Microsoft Project Desktop, SharePoint-based collaboration and document management, and reporting through the actual Project Server reporting database. But where it falls short is it preserves your classic PPM. It does not materially advance agencies towards end-to-end project financial lifecycle management, does not have native integration with modern ERPs, procurement, or funding systems. It does not provide a modern role-based user experience outside of project manager roles. It does not offer embedded AI, Copilot experiences, or intelligent automation. And it's not a cloud-native, extensible, and cross-platform providing data insights. So of the two different cloud options available, Microsoft Planner is becoming Microsoft's unified work management experience. In the premium plans, it provides modern scheduling features, so timelines, Gantt charts, advanced dependencies, critical paths, and milestones. It also supports team planning constructs like goals, a people view for workload distribution, sprint planning boards for agile execution. The intent is to make planning accessible and collaborative, especially inside Microsoft Teams, so that work management happens where your people already operate. The key is this: Planner is the work management layer. It's about planning and coordinating work. The screenshot on the right here represents a timeline view, which gives you a clear time-based picture of the project, when tasks start, how long they run, where milestones sit. But it also, when you introduce dependencies, you can model real-world sequencing. So this needs to finish before that can start, or what tasks can run in parallel. Also shown in this is the critical path. Critical path highlights the chain of linked tasks that truly determine your finish date. So if anything slips on that path, the overall project slips. So this is how you move on from the, we think will be done by X date to more of the, we know what drives the date and what we need to protect. So the takeaway is this: Planner Premium can support more disciplined scheduling, dependencies, milestones, and critical path visibility without jumping straight to a full enterprise PPM tool. So a few other things that Planner provides. On the left screenshot, you see a people or an assignment board. So this provides the ability to understand how work is distributed across your team. So you can quickly see where someone may be overallocated or underutilized and rebalance assignments as needed. Think of this as the practical delivery management lens. The timeline tells us what needs to happen when, but the people and assignments tell us whether the workload is realistic for the team that we have. So a way to explain this for leadership is, people view helps us answer, do we have the capacity to deliver this schedule? It also provides more on the assignment view. What am I responsible for and what's next? Or what am I waiting on? So Planner Premium not only adds scheduling, but also resource and workload visibility, which is usually where your delivery begins to break down if you don't have it. Microsoft is also adding AI on top of these project mechanics, so you can reduce manual planning and reporting. And that's where the Planner agent, and it was previously called the project manager agent, comes in. So on the right-hand screenshot, we're showing the Planner agent, which is an AI-powered agent built into Planner that acts like a virtual project manager. At a high level, the agent supports 4 practical things. First, the ability for goal to plan. You can describe the outcome you want, like a delivery goal or initiative, and the agent can help break down that into an initial structured plan with actionable tasks. This helps solve the blank page problem and accelerates the initial planning. The second it provides is task execution with outputs captured in the task. So you can assign tasks to the agent, and it will generate the first draft output. Microsoft describes this as it's captured in an embedded loop page within the task. So the team can then collaborate and refine its context. The third is it provides an agent chat for ongoing management. So the chat experience is meant to help you plan, track status, respond to changes as the project evolves. So instead of hunting through tasks manually, you can ask questions and get guidance in the flow of the work. And the last is on status reporting. And this is a big one for PMs and leaders. Microsoft introduced status reports powered by the agent, so you can generate project updates based on planned progresses, milestones, and upcoming tasks without manually building a weekly report. Planner Premium isn't just scheduling and assignments. It's adding an AI layer to speed up planning, execution outputs, and reporting. So all that sounds good, but Planner does have some limitations, and it's important to state them clearly because they inform where project operations fits. Planner is fundamentally about planning and managing work. It does not aim to manage the operational and financial lifecycle of project delivery. Project operations adds delivery and operations and financial controls, contracts, billing, revenue and cost profiles, and compliance-ready approvals. So if an agency needs traceability from planning to outcomes, especially where time tracking, approvals, and financial oversight matter, Planner alone typically stops short. So you can think of that Planner manages the plan, project operations manages the delivery accountability. So like we did with Planner, what does Dynamics 365 Project Operations provide you? Project Operations is designed as a single application connecting key project-centric functions: planning, resourcing, delivery execution, time and expense, and financial visibility. The value for agencies is not more features. The value is about connected data and consistent controls. Project operations provides built-in visibility into budgets versus actuals, trending insights, and utilization, so leadership can see what's happening without requiring manual consolidation. And because it sits within the Dynamics 365 ecosystem, it integrates into Microsoft's broader stack, Teams collaboration, Power BI reporting, and Power Platform automation. Financials and billing integrate with Dynamics 365 finance and supply chain management, where project operations becomes the front end, project management accounting, which is a module within that ERP system, becomes the back end. It's important to note, though, project operations as a standalone does provide financial visibility and billing capabilities, but it has been designed to integrate with finance and supply chain management or any other ERP system. So talking about the Dynamics 365 ecosystem, in this architecture, project operations is positioned as a core application in the customer engagement layer that runs on the shared Dataverse data foundation. That placement is intentional. Project operations captures delivery side execution data, projects, resourcing, time expense, activity, status, and operational tracking using the same common platform as the other customer engagement applications. So project delivery work can remain connected to the broader customer and program context rather than living in a disconnected project tool. Project operations then connects that operational project delivery data to the ERP layer, notably Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain Management, using dual write. So key data entities and transactions can synchronize between the Dataverse and the ERP in near real time. This enables end-to-end processes where project execution drives downstream financial outcomes, such as pushing pro forma invoice information into finance, synchronizing actuals, and supporting consistent financial controls in reporting, while finance remains the authoritative accounting system. Finally, this diagram also shows how project operations benefits from the platform services underneath it. Power Platform extends and automates workflows on top of Dataverse, and enterprise analytics can be achieved by moving and replicating Dataverse and ERP data into a unified reporting layer, OneLake, Fabric, Synapse as examples, and surfacing it through Power BI for cross-functional visibility across service, projects, and financials. In short, project operations is the ecosystem component that ties together project delivery execution with automation and analytics on the Dataverse platform, while integrating cleanly to ERP financial outcomes through dual write. So another module that, or another opportunity it provides, is resource management and scheduling. And this is one of the biggest reasons projects slip: resource realism. Dynamics 365 project operations is built to optimize utilization and scheduling using the universal resource scheduling, which is across the customer experience applications. So it provides clear visibility into who's available and when. This means the schedule isn't just a plan, it's aligned to actual capacity. The second part is, which is just as important, Project Ops doesn't treat resources as interchangeable names on a list. It supports matching people based on skills and proficiency models and maintaining resource profiles so staffing decisions can be repeatable and defensible across programs and projects. In practice, this is how you reduce delivery risk. You allocate the right capability to the right work, and you can see utilization constraints early enough to adjust that plan. Now, once you've staffed and scheduled work properly, the next operational question is, how do we capture and control the work as it happens? Time, expense, approvals in a way that is consistent and audit ready. And that's what we're going to talk to on this slide. So this is all about operational control, the part that typically breaks down in real project delivery. Project Ops standardizes how teams submit time and expense and how those entries move through approvals. So you get consistency and audit readiness across projects and programs. What's new, and this is where Microsoft is heading, is that Project Ops is also introducing AI assistance for operations. And examples are the time entry agent, the expense agent, and an activity approvals agent, which is currently in preview. The intent here is straightforward: reduce administrative overhead and improve compliance by helping teams complete routine actions more reliably and consistently. In the first screenshot, you see the time entry mobile app. So time entry can be entered either via the project operations application itself or through a Microsoft created Power Platform mobile app. In the second screenshot, you see the expense management mobile app. Again, this is a Microsoft built Power Platform app. But what's special about this one is it's using OCR, optical character recognition, to identify and populate expense reports based on a receipt snapshot. And if anyone else hates doing expense reports, this is a big one. Now, the call out here, though, is this does require the integration into the Dynamics 365 finance and supply chain management, because it actually ties all of the data across into the ERP system for the policy, for the expense report, and everything. So this is all about AI assistance. And it's important to say that you do have the ability to configure the level of AI automation. The other comment on AI is today, Copilot in project operations provides all of the same functionality that we talked about with the planner agent, with the exception of the task execution. The key takeaway is once time and expense capture is standardized and approvals are consistent, you unlock dependable downstream governance. You have trusted actuals, better audit traceability, and a clean foundation for billing and financial accountability. That leads directly into our next slide, which is where project operations supports project financials, billing models, and alignment to accounting. So this is where project operations clearly differentiates itself from lighter work management tools. It supports project financials with explicit alignment to contracts, billing models, and accounting requirements. At the front end, Project Ops supports contract types like fixed price, time and material, and retainer, with adaptive billing models to match how project-based organizations actually charge for work or capture costs. Operationally, it includes billing capabilities such as billing queues, subscriptions, progressive billing, and configurable invoices, so billing becomes a managed process rather than a scramble at the end of the month. From an accounting perspective, project operations supports the core building blocks finance teams care about: cost and revenue profiles, accruals and postings, and support for standards such as IFRS practices. And critically, as I've mentioned, it can operate with Dynamics 365 finance and supply chain management or any external ERP system through APIs, so that financial outcomes can be governed in the ERP environment where accounting control and statutory reporting typically lives. If you think about the operating model, project operations captures the operational reality of delivery, time, expenses, progress, billing intent, while the financial system remains the system of record for financial posting and compliance. This separation lets project teams focus on delivery and finance teams maintain control without the two drifting apart. So we've talked about a lot of different options. So this is really, a quick decision slide to help you choose the right Microsoft tool based on what you're trying to accomplish. The key point is this: these tools are not competitors as much as they are built for different operating models and levels of governance. We're comparing these applications across the same set of capabilities: purpose, users, scheduling depth, resource management, and financial controls. So look to use Microsoft Planner when you need a lightweight team coordination, basic tasks, basic buckets, and simple timelines with no financial tracking. Look to use Project Server when you need a formal PMO governance with advanced scheduling and enterprise resource pools, but only limited financial or billing depth. And use Dynamics 365 project operations when projects must connect delivery to outcomes with advanced work breakdown structures, skills-based resourcing, and full cost revenue margin plus billing models. So this is a similar, well, this is the same comparison, but we're kind of changing how we're talking to it. This is, what each tool does best. So choose Microsoft Planner for team task management, simple boards, collaboration, lightweight setup. It's best for day-to-day team-based coordination where financials are not required. Choose Microsoft Project Server when the priority is enterprise project guidance, advanced scheduling, enterprise resource pools, portfolio visibility, and structured PMO workflows. And finally, choose Dynamics 365 Project Operations when you need end-to-end project operations, sales to delivery integration, skills-based resourcing, time and expense, and project financials. This is ideal when leadership needs operational and financial visibility. So from a rule of thumb, if you're looking to coordinate work, Planner. If you're looking to govern portfolios, Project Server. If you're looking to run project delivery as a business process, Project Operations. So I'm going to pass it back to Greg.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you running through that for me. That explained things to me very well. So hopefully that was helpful for the audience. What I wanted to close with is the big picture. And the big picture is what I like to call this this kind of, I don't know, whiteboard, diagram, chessboard, if you will. And what this really is Microsoft's vision of bringing their portfolio of AI-based business applications to the marketplace within one concise, holistic ecosystem. We have the two big names up top, Dynamics 365 we talked about. Project Operations is part of that family. There's also the financials, the ERP application, the CRM application, which can be molded into lots of different things for local government, and also the Power Platform. So those are really Microsoft's flagship business applications. We have here mentioned on the side Dayforce as well. That's our other friend and partner at our company. That's a market-leading HR payroll application that also runs on Microsoft technology and the Microsoft cloud. So what we really see is Microsoft working together to bring to market these tightly interconnected kind of cross-pollinating applications to do a lot for the organizations that choose to invest in them. And all those things, of course, come with the Azure cloud, all the security and high availability and trust that come with it, and then the AI Copilot piece. So this is it in a nutshell. What I wanted to do at this point is open the floor for questions. What I'll do here is I'll leave this back here. If any of y'all have any questions on any of these things, we can kind of bounce back and forth. I know we were focused on Project Ops today, but we are kind of a Swiss Army knife in terms of being able to talk about all these things in the big picture. So we're happy to do so for y'all today. But I'll take a pause. We've got Chris here for the rest of the meeting. He knows the technology quite well. I know a lot of things not that well, but we can certainly address lots of questions. So I will look in the chat window. I know Terry's been feverishly typing, so thank you, Terry. Is that Terry or is that Copilot? I don't know, but thank you, Terry, for that. Any other questions from the audience? You don't have to chat and type. You can if you want, but you can also open your mouth and do it the old-fashioned way too. As my high school football coach used to say, don't all run out there at the same time, team. And I think there's some questions. A lot of questions about deprecation of Project Server and PWA. Terry, is there anything that you felt like answering live, put you on the spot instead of typing and chatting?
In terms of the deprecation, or what do you mean?
Yeah, or any of the questions that you see are more worthy of of an explanation than a quick answer.
I answered some of that. Yeah, so licensing we can talk about. Do you have a slide on that by any chance, Greg? Or
No, I'm afraid not.
okay. I can follow up with that and just drop an email to the attendees, or I'll get it to Delaney and she can do that. Is Project Server going away at some point? I do not know the answer to, unfortunately. Project Online will be supported until September 30th. Oh, do we have the mute controls disabled, I guess, on this? I don't know if that's something that can be changed.
Is everybody muted?
Yes.
Oh dear. Well, you can ask your questions and we're not listening. Delaney, can you unmute everybody?
Greg, I think a big question that might be pertinent in this group, though, is planner and project operations in GCC. So planner is available in both GCC and GCC High, but there are some limitations. So Copilot, the project manager agent, task history, the ability to convert basic to premium plans, and are all not available in GCC High right now from a planner perspective. And feature rollout from a timing perspective is delayed versus the commercial application. For project operations is available in GCC and GCC High. It does support the feature sets of project planning, execution, resource management, utilization, time and expense entry with approvals, project budgeting and forecasting, Power BI based, but it is subject to GCC constraints. But it does also provide integration with the other Dynamics 365 customer engagement apps. There are some known constraints, though, with project operations, and it's again, from a rollout of new features, there is a lag compared to the commercial cloud. But I think if you are in GCC, you've already experienced that. And again, from an AI and Copilot experience, again, rollout is typically after the commercial experience.
Thank you, Chris. And I am going one by one to provide mic access for those dying to talk. So if you're looking to say something, check your mute little microphone, and I think you should be able to talk as I go down the list here.
Hello, my name is David Tarver. I work for the state of Texas, and we've been kind of on this journey when we got the little banner in PWA that it was being retired September 30th. I've had some different conversations with Microsoft and then with another third party that specializes in migrating data. As of September, October 1st, if you still have stuff in the cloud there in PWA, it's going to disappear. It's not going to be there anymore. So, you are kind of under the gun on trying to get your stuff out or over into something else. I looked, there's a link on the banner that comes up and it says, here are your options. And just like y'all said, here are the options. There's Planner, there's Server, and then there's Dynamics. We kind of looked at it, or have been looking at it, as kind of a Three Bears story of the Three Bears. One's a little too little, one's a little too much, and one of them is just right. Part of our considerations have been Planner we thought was too little. I could be wrong, which is why I was asking questions about templates. We have some kind of like standard templates for requests for offers, requests for applications, requests for proposals that we have a standard set schedule of this is how it should go and this is how long these should last, and we can use those to kind of gauge performance. How well did this procurement go? I have been under the impression that Planner was just, we kind of played with a little bit, the reporting on it and trying to pull data into Power BI. You got to take a couple more jumps as opposed to just being able to link to the reporting database. I've talked to some coworkers that use Planner that love it. And I try to tell them, well, we're not going this way because of this. And they say, oh, no, wait, it does everything. It butters your bread too. So anyway, not the perfect time to get that when the day before I go in front of an architectural review board to set up a server in a data center, but the dynamics, it's as an entire ERP system was just, it does a lot and it looks amazing, but it's just that would be too much for us to try to get people into. But sorry, I tend to ramble, but
No, we appreciate it. No, thank you, David. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add too that project operations can be used in the light mode, which means that you don't need the entire ERP platform. So
Yes, to standalone, you can still have your price list and everything tied to it, so you see your financials, but it's within that system. And just so from a planner perspective, your functionality you see using Planner, that is the same functionality you see within project operations when you're working within the timeline, building your tasks. So that's a very similar experience between the two. It's just the additional that you get within project operations.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, David. Any other questions? I think most of y'all should be able to talk, hopefully. Or there's the old chat feature too.
Hi, my name is April Darley. I'm with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
April.
It's kind of an unconventional request, but is there a way to remove some of the AI capabilities out of the project operations, even in light mode? We have a separate approval process to go through for any AI-enabled applications. So we would have a hard time, and it just takes, even more time to get this going if we have to go through like a month or two of approvals.
yes, so any of the AI capabilities are currently not available in GCC. Eventually they will be, but I'm sure that there will be controls in place, as a lot of our customers have that same concern. And so I'm sure that there will be the ability to not, have it enabled.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hello, Wayne Baker with Texas Parks and Wildlife. It's been a while since I've looked at Project Server, but with Project Online being deprecated, and that sounds like PWA is also going to be deprecated. How, with Project Server, how are resources and the project managers going to collaborate? Are we going to get hours from the resources? You guys have any idea?
Project Server does support time entry. The key system for collaboration is SharePoint. Terry, I don't know if you can add any more to that, but it is designed for collaboration. It's more of an older style in use though.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
That's a really good question, though. I'm wondering how it ties into like Active Directory, if you have to set it up outside of the cloud and if all of our systems are in the cloud.
And thank you, Terry. There is pricing. We're starting with the Big Bear, I suppose. So that's that mid-teens, $1,000 a year. I think she did a monthly cost, 135 a year, 135 a month. Oops. So that's your license cost. That's a per seat license, subject to your state contracts and all that. So that's the one piece that we see for the larger projects. Obviously, the other pieces are different costs at a lower point. So hopefully that gives you an idea if you're looking at that more comprehensive piece. Anyone else before we let you run and finish the rest of your workday or your
Hey,
afternoon?
Greg,
Yes.
This Cassie, I just wanted to clarify that the use of Entra and all that is still available with Project Server, so you don't have to worry about that piece of it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And if anybody has any further questions about Project Server, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get you in the right place. The experts for that system aren't on this call really, so but I still want to get you answers, so just reach out.
So April, admin level does not require a higher license.
Thank you.
But that's a great question. You never know if there's a higher license, right? But that license type that covers everything in the picture. If you're doing this in conjunction with ERP, with the Dynamics Finance, then there's some nuances to that, but that's got you covered.
And I'll look to Cassie or Terry to correct me on this, but in the Dynamics 365 customer engagement applications, if the administrator is doing truly administrator work, a named license is not required. If they're actually doing business process, then a license is required.
One extra question here. This is April. For the project operations light, looking at the diagram that you have on the Dynamics 365 ecosystem slide, so would that just remove the ERP apps and the rest of the diagram would be would apply for
Yes, ma'am.
light mode?
Yep. So instead of having those those native hooks into the D365 Finance, you would just point that elsewhere if you want to get those financials. But it's an interesting piece because that D365 Project Apps does have bits and pieces of both ERP and the CRM part being managing the resources. So it kind of straddles both, but by no means at all is the ERP system a prereq for that. So that's a good question. If we kept breaking it out to more and more modules, then we need a bigger screen, right?
Thanks.
And for Star, who asked, we will send out a post webinar recap so you can review this as many times as you want. Hopefully that's not more than, I don't know, 5 times. I guess you could watch it 5 times, maybe not 10 times. So you can have that at your leisure. You can send it around to your friends and neighbors, and we'll also have the link to the presentation if you want to see that too. Any other closing questions that we can help educate you all today on? I'm going to take that. Oh, is a maybe. Stephanie had a typed question. Ooh, government cloud question. That's the best way to end the day, right?
It's a good
Fortunately, I
question.
can't answer that.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that either, unfortunately.
Hopefully not anymore. If it was several years back, that would be concerning, but that's we can follow up with you on that with more details. You bet, Stephanie. Well, folks, I will say thank you for your time. I really appreciate y'all's attendance and engagement. I know that this has been kind of a topic that's been brewing for some time. So hopefully this gave some clarity as to choices out there. What I will offer too is we close out, us as Microsoft's partner, we can work in conjunction with Microsoft. We're happy to talk further a little bit more instead of this is, we covered just what these things are. If you want to know how do I do this, we can certainly help with that. We can help with strategies, with ideas, with recommendations. I don't know which bear to, which bear has my porridge or whatever. Like, we can help make decisions. We can do all those things for you as appropriate. So if you hear from us, we're happy to help further and kind of help you navigate through that puzzle piece of the Microsoft ecosystem to help your business. So with that, I will say thank you and have a great spring, the rest of the spring, summer for those who are baking already, but thank you for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.